Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a major report that I want to share with you. As you know, there are multiple instabilities going on in the market right now. We have a political environment that is not stable at all. We also have, the tariffs that are happening with China. We have talk of war with Russia, and all these things are adding financially to what's going on here in America. We know just months ago we had Bitcoin at 16,000, and now it's about 8,000. The stock markets are kind of going up and down. We have people saying good things about the market, people saying bad things about the market. The IMF and we have the Fed raising rates, the interest rates. We are looking crazy and crazier than I've ever seen it before. So what I wanted to do is bring on a specialist. And when I mean a specialist, he really knows his stuff. He has made tons of people tons of money. And I'm going to let him give you just a quick example of that. But the main reason is, number one, he not only knows his stuff in that realm, but he also pays attention to things like what are the Rockefellers doing. He knows about the New World Order. He knows about the deep state. So he knows those things that I study on my channel, things that your normal advisors are not going to tell you. But he's with Trade Genius Academy. So Bob, are you with me over there?
I am, Lisa. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. So let's just start because I kind of gave the limelight, but give me one quick or two quick examples of how you've made money for someone.
Yeah, well, because you brought up cryptocurrencies, let me bring that one to you. Is that, first of all, going into December, cryptocurrencies were flying, and we just said, hey, be careful when they open the futures markets because the banks like to short the markets, and our signal hit the day after the futures market opened. And actually, Bitcoin got up to almost over a little over $20,000. We told people, hey, take money off the table. It fell almost 70% from there, Lisa. And when everybody said Bitcoin was going to zero, we told people, hey, start buying it around 5,600. And it rose back up to 11,000. We got another sell signal on it. We said, hey, time to take money off the table. And just this week, Lisa, really the end of March mostly, is we got another buy signal again on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's now up 25% from that signal. So we've helped people make a ton of money. A lot of people out there that do this crypto stuff, they don't trade. We trade. We actually own these coins. We've been in it since the beginning, and we started in 2011 actually mining these coins. So, we know it as well as anybody in the cryptocurrency space, and it's a buy again. And that kind of dovetails into what your opening monologue was on all the stuff that's going on. In December, gold started to turn higher against the broad market. In February, we had the big sell off because volatility started coming back into the market again. And now March, cryptocurrency started to move up again. And all that is pretending to me is that the stock market is going to grow increasingly weaker. And that's where most people have their money. They're not in these alternative safe havens, if you will, cryptocurrencies, gold, miners, commodities. And we've been telling people, whoever will listen to us, that you need to move out of the stock market, the financial assets, and the technology companies. You need to start moving into what we call the non-bank assets, cryptocurrencies, metals, and miners. And we see it in the money flow. And you and I were talking before we got on the show here, is that smart money's already doing this. And they've been selling out for the last 6 weeks now. Every day, if you notice in the afternoon, the markets are selling off. That's big money, institutional money selling because their clients are demanding them to pull money out of the stock market. At the same time, you're seeing money flowing into gold, silver, miners. And a lot of these banks now are opening up what they call cryptocurrency desks. That means they're going to start putting money around the world. They're going to start putting money into cryptocurrency. So a lot of people are starting to get really worried about the stock market, and they're starting to hedge their bets. And we see it in the money flow, and that's how we trade. We don't really look at the news per se. The news usually is foretelling an action, but the money flow tells us what the big money is doing, and that's what we follow. And we keep people on the right side of the trade because of that.
Well, what is this tariff going to do? Right now we have China saying, "Oh, we're going to drop this tariff," and Trump adding tariffs. What is that going to do to our economy?
Well, actually, it's good for Main Street, Lisa. It may bring a little of inflation in, but it's going to bring a lot of employment. And somebody made the joke saying, hey, the stock market was selling off on the tariff news till people figured out, well, $100 billion worth of stuff now is going to have to be manufactured here instead of China. That means we have to employ people. We have to build new facilities and new infrastructure. It's good news for Main Street, but it's not good news for Wall Street because they're not going to be able to make as much money, using cheap labor from China to profit. So, in one aspect, economy is good for the people, but for Wall Street, it's bad for Wall Street. So that's how I explain it to people.
What about buying and selling homes right now? Like I for one, looking at that in the near future, but is it a bad idea? I personally think it's a bad idea to buy right now, so I'm renting until something happens with the market. Is that the right move to people out there who might be in a similar situation?
Yeah, absolutely. The housing market is peaking. So you can't, every time they raise interest rates, Lisa, it makes homes less affordable. And so until interest rates roll back over again in the next recession, I don't want you'd be crazy. I'd only buy if you had to buy. And so you're going to be buying at the top. And so we see it in the market. The refinance market's dead, and the new loan market is dead, and you're starting to see housing sales starting to fall off, and the only people buying are still speculators, but absolutely a bad time to buy.
So then you would agree if you can rent for now is not the time to buy. And this is the kind of stuff they learn at your academy because you have that Trade Genius Academy, things I've learned, things others have learned, and it really is a good system. But with that, can I ask, where do you see us headed by the end of this year, financially speaking, as a country, maybe both with the Trump administration? Let's just start there. Where do you see that headed?
Well, my view is this: is that I think we will test right now. SPY's trading around 265 area. We think the SPY will get around 200 at sometime this year. So we see a 30% correction sometime this year in the market, and then if the Democrats take over one or two houses of Congress, then you'll see a full-on flush of the stock market because look how much grief he's getting from the left and the deep state, and it's all Republicans. Wait till the Democrats get in there, and every day they're going to have hearings and impeachments, and the stock market will crater at that point. So I think a lot of people are going to start taking money off the table before the election. So we're looking for at least a 30% correction. And I think people are going to move into gold, silver, the miners, and other safe havens like cryptocurrencies.
So if come the election and we get more Democrats in there, are we headed into more troubled territory? Because that's, let's be frank, when Democrats are in there, our economy does worse. It's on purpose. As I think that's what they want. They ultimately want socialism. They want a lower class that's controlled by a richer class. They're not trying to make everybody even and fair like it really says, because that will never happen under socialism. Easy tests will do that. I've done tests with my kids where I said, okay, you go and I did this paper, for example, and I said, okay, I told my daughter, I said, here, you both study for this test, which they both, one studied more than the other, which I know because I have one fuddy-duddy girl and one not so fuddy-duddy. One made 100, one made like a 50. So I took the grades and said, okay, you both got a 75. Yay! Well, one daughter was happy and the other daughter was mad, obviously. She goes, well, I put all that work into it. I said, well, it is what it is. That's socialism. To give them an example, right? So I said, we'll retake the test in a week and see what happens. So we retook the test in a week. And of course, the fuddy-duddy did not study at all. And neither did the one that studied the last time. They both made one made a 40, the other made a 60. So they ended up making a 50. And I said, what happened? And they were both sad. And I wrote it down in their grade book. And my older daughter says, well, why would I study? She just gets all the credit. And my other daughter said, well, I was thinking Tessa was going to study, my other daughter. And so they evened it out that way, right? And so in the end, nobody wins. And that's the same. And this is what the Democrats are doing to us here in America, I believe. And that's what's going to happen financially. And that's why I tell everybody you need to not keep all your stuff in one area, but learn the markets, learn the trades, learn to do what you do, basically. And that's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally agree with that. I mean, my daughter's in high school, and and they did a group project, and they did it twice. And the first time, a lot of people put a lot of effort in, and some kids did nothing. The second time, nobody put any effort in. The teacher was really upset, and the kids explained it to the teacher, and the teacher said, "I'm not doing any more group projects," because she realized that, the same thing with your daughters is that people who study hard aren't going to get credit. People didn't study were parasites. And that's why, you're seeing it with, with the cryptocurrencies is because it's going to eliminate a lot of parasites in the market. So, a lot of Wall Street, I tell people, I said, the next 5 years, the theme's going to be escape from New York, because New York, only reason why New York is wealthy is because they sit in the middle of every financial transaction that happens in the United States and a lot of the world's transactions. As the world moves to this phenomenon called blockchain, is that you don't need New York anymore, and you don't need banks anymore. And if you notice, New York, Washington, D.C., LA, San Francisco, and Chicago, all those areas are wealthy because they control monopolies or they sit in the middle of transactions. And as this technology takes root, forget the coins for a second. I'm just talking about as a phenomenon, is that those areas of the country are going to get basically disintermediated out. This is Internet 3.0, and the producers are going to prevail. But as you say, we're going to get a lot of pain from the left because they lived off of these transactions for decades, and it's all going away. And that's why you're going to see it. You're going to see all the social media stocks. They're all gonna collapse in value because people are walking away the more they realize how they've been snookered, and they make up a lot of the stock market value. And the way the stock market is calculated, as those big stocks fall, it makes the stock market fall farther and faster than it normally would, the way the calculations work. That's why I tell people that, hey, look, if these FANG stocks fall 20 or 30%, stock market's going to fall 30 to 40%. And make no mistake, I mean, these five companies that make up the FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and that ilk, they're bigger than most countries' GDP around the world. It is obscenely overvalued, and it's going to cause a lot of issues for people. So we have the warning flags out, Lisa, and we just say to people, look, if you're in the stock market, start taking some off the table, start moving into protection areas like, cryptos and metals and miners, and ride this storm out. Wait and see what happens with the election, and then we can move on again. But I think, Lisa, next year you'll be able to buy your house for a lot cheaper than you can today.
That's my plan, at least for now. And and that's the other thing I want to just add in, I guess, in conclusion, is last year I did a few interviews with you, and what you said happened. You had said Bitcoin would skyrocket, and it did. And if people listened, and got in, then they would have made a ton of money if they cashed out during the high season. So, that's why I also bring you on and take what you say to heart. And it's not a sales pitch; it's a real thing, and I really mean it. And I only work with people and partner with people like you who I know can actually help do things. And so I appreciate you for the partnership, and you're offering everyone 50% off with the code Haven, correct?
That's right. So if they go to tradegeniusacademy.com, anything in the store, if they put the promotion code in Haven, they get 50% off the price shown. But if you don't put it in, you don't get the promotion fee. So make sure you put Haven in the promotion box.
Yes. So all that information is going to be below for you guys. This is something you're going to want to jump on sooner than later, especially considering the market's just crazy. If you want some financial stability, it trains you how to have that. But most of all, he really knows his stuff, and he comes on and gives free advice here on my channel off and on as well, which I truly appreciate. So thank you again, Bob, for coming on the broadcast.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. And I look forward to talking to you again when we have something exciting to talk about.
Yes, I'll call you again, so it'll be great. But it's tradegeniusacademy.com, and this is Lisa, and that was Bob signing out.